I've been told that people seem to think that I love to hear myself talk. And it is very true. I do love to hear myself talk. They'll never get me to admit it, but I do. We are going to remind everybody. So here we go. So we're going to watch this about Mouse PI for Hire, but before we continue on, everybody must be reminded that Concord scored a 7 out of 10. High Guard scored a 7 out of 10. Marathon scored a 9 out of 10. And Dragon Age, the Veil Guard, also scored a 9 out of 10. Which is really funny, because apparently this one scored a 6 out of 10. And I think most people are disagreeing with them. So, let's see what Charlie has to say.
Making fun of an IGN review is like breathing. Everyone does it. In fact, you have to do it.
Well, the problem isn't even that we're just making fun of it. It's just like, they're so wildly off base that I don't even know how they're still in existence.
Is a biological necessity. And for good reason. IGN reviews
are dog shit.
Often just find a way to strike the very core of the human soul and force you to foam at the mouth because of how dumb the review is.
I wonder if that's their strategy, though. Like, they just make something so dumb and catastrophically just out there that it drives audience people coming to look at it.
And it's not intentional rage bait. If it was, it'd be far less offensive.
I don't know.
It's accidental rage bait from reviewers that, like, you have to question what the fuck they're on to reach the conclusions they do on certain
money
things. And it's a topic that's been explored a million times for a million different movies, games, TV shows, what have you. And they get clowned on till the cows come home. I know I've shot spitballs at them a ton, but I cannot resist the urge to do it again because this review for Mouse PI for Hire. And it's not the score that's so irksome. The IGN grading scale is so fucking cattywampus it defies conventional wisdom and is an affront to God in and of itself.
Well, again, it wouldn't be so bad if all of the games that nobody liked didn't score so, like, high. Like, we can even check out, like, Marathon. I checked it earlier today. They're hanging out around 15,000 players with 19,000 in their 24-hour peak. And that's a 9 out of 10 game, by the way. Big IGN 9 out of 10. Whereas, like, nobody's playing it. Nobody is playing or willing to play or wants to play any of the games that they give high scores. It's just so ridiculously off base that I can't believe it. Like, it's nearly unbelievable.
So it's not even the score that's bothersome. It's the reasons that the reviewer gives for why it's a 6. It's so outrageous.
Well, and the reasons why they give high scores too. It's just like, what is going on?
Feels almost satirical, except it's done earnestly. It's genuinely fascinating. Like, fascinating in the same sense that if I went to the aquarium and a manatee shit into the glass as I was watching it, I'd be like, ooh, curious. What? You know, one of those things. It's like, why? Like, how did we even get to this point? So, if you...
It is because people allowed them to get to this point not adhering to the fact of not consuming their dog shit product. They are still somehow making money off of their dog shit product, and that is why they're still in business. Somehow they're allowed to do that. In order to stop that, you must negatively incentivize making a bad product. And people don't want to do that anymore.
Gaming channel, Moist Critical Gaming. You've probably already seen that I'm playing the shit out of Mouse PI for Hire. I think it's a great game. I'm really enjoying it. Also, you should definitely go subscribe to the gaming channel.
Really good.
I play like a million.
Like, I really want to play it.
But Mouse PI for Hire is a standout.
I've got so many other games
here for me.
I've got so many other games that just can't play it.
When I watched the IGN review
right now,
I was blown away. So I want to show you some snippets here.
Yes, please.
What bothers me, however, is how overly referential so much of it is. The world.
Are we real right now? It looks like an old Disney cartoon from like the 1940s, and you're bothered by it being referential. Are you an idiot? You might be an idiot.
This is full of mice, so everything is about cheese. everything.
Imagine.
A bad guy, he's a cheese-legger.
Imagine.
Cheese leggers in on the shrew record.
Run into a lady mouse with a sultry voice, it'll be described as
Gorgonzola picante slapped on a mozzarella platter.
everything is a
Imagine.
reference to the fact that everyone is a mouse and mice like cheese, and
Holy shit. This guy's an idiot. He doesn't get the joke. He actually doesn't get the joke.
when it's not, instead it'll be a reference to an old cartoon, or the fact that this is a video game.
When you jump, just act like you didn't.
The voice actors led by
He just doesn't get it. He either willingly doesn't get it, or he's lying, and or he's just an idiot. Oh my god, this guy we actually might have found one. We might have found an idiot in the wild.
Troy Baker do an admirable job with what they have, but nothing in Mouseburg is allowed to just be. It has to be a mouse reference, or a literally cheesy
Imagine.
one-liner,
Cheddar. What's wrong with Gouda?
No good if you broke, Jack.
or a reference to something.
So basically, he doesn't like that they mention cheese a lot. He doesn't like that it's constantly referencing the fact that they're mice, or
Like,
that it's a video game, or other cartoons.
are we real right now? Like, there's no way a human being can be this dense, right? There's no way that this guy really exists in the real world. Like, how does... I'm at a loss of words.
It's too referential, which I actually think is a valid complaint.
Really?
He doesn't like the writing. You can
Sure.
boil it down to the writing wasn't tickling him. It didn't make him giggle, and he started to roll his eyes at how many times they mention cheese.
Sure, but isn't that like the buy-in of the game?
I actually think that's totally fine. The writing isn't going to hit for everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. But as the review goes on, the complaint becomes more, it wasn't noir the way I wanted it to be. It wasn't serious enough. And then
Right, yeah, so he just didn't get it. Like, he just didn't understand. Like, that's what you're signing up for when you're playing this game.
starts picking out logical inconsistencies with this world.
Oh,
and that's where
Jesus.
things get real fucking goofy. Like, that's turbo wacko. So
Like, it seems like it's meant to be somewhat parodic in a way, where it is a parody of a bunch of different tropes coming together at that time, which is fine. That's pretty funny. Like, it can be. And yeah, you cannot like that amount of self-referential or maybe even fourth wall breaking humor. Okay, that's fine. I love I love absurdism. Not too many people like absurdism. You're free to not like something, but to knock it down on that like premise, you just didn't get it, and now you're upset that you didn't get the joke, that you're not in on the joke. Come on, dude.
right there. This game is a love letter to the old rubber hose
Yes,
cartoons
it is.
and noir.
Yep.
It is not meant to be like a serious fucking pipe smoking noir experience that's gonna have
It is the exact opposite of a
you
serious
sitting there
experience.
thinking in your chair like this hard-boiled detective, real big thinker piece or anything like that that the reviewer seems to want it to be. And that's like the main gripe. He starts pointing out these logical inconsistencies in the world. He does mention the cheese a lot, which I think is weird because I think it's a fine complaint to say, like,
You know, maybe he's dairy allergic. Maybe we're being insensitive to his dairy allergy.
I started to get annoyed with all this cheese stuff. But it makes sense in the world because these are fucking mice. So of course
In the style of a Disney cartoon, while trying to be a parody, or rather a love letter parody to noir tropes and stuff like that. So you're going to be expecting cheesy, I know, one-liners. How did this not get communicated to this guy?
cheese is going to be a
Does he not have intertextual like thinking? Is he not able to use other media to analyze and diagnose the fact that this is a joke? This guy probably has no idea what intertextuality means as well.
big part of like that society in the world they have built.
I should have probably guessed the former when one of the first things I saw was a steamboat
Imagine, Willie. Wow. I wonder who this is a fucking reference to, guys.
named Willie, but at least that and the reference-heavy power-ups are cute.
Popeye.
Constant callbacks to classic films or other video games? Not so much. And it doesn't end there. A boss fight in the sewers? It's a literal alligator because of course it is.
Oh my god, dude. This guy really, he doesn't get it. Are you being willfully ignorant? Are you choosing to be like this? If you're choosing to be like this, stop it. Get some help. If you're not choosing to be like this, take your hands off the keyboard, take your mouth away from the mic, go outside and touch some grass.
If you're looking for the cheese-liking foreman, Jack will quip that he doesn't look like much of a boss.
More like a mini boss.
And then laugh at his own joke.
Imagine.
Just listen to the way he talks about it. He fucking hated this. I think he wanted to go lower than a 6, but then felt like the response would be too ferocious if he did. It seems like he actually loathed it, just by the way
he didn't get the joke. He's not part of the joke, so he's upset. He doesn't get it. Maybe he's rage baiting Cope? No, there's no way. There's no way that he's rage baiting. There is honestly, okay. There are times, I'll admit it, there are times where I might accidentally rage bait because I'm just stupid, or I might say something that is also an intentional rage bait. And you can kind of tell when it's being intentional. This seems like he is very intentional about his critiques in the sense that he's not trying to rage bait you. Because it wouldn't be this hard. It's not even tongue in cheek either. Like this is he's playing this completely seriously. Because it's an official review and we know that it got 6 out of 10. Like I said, remember, Concord scored higher than this. High Guard scored higher than this. Marathon scored higher than this. Dragon Age the Veilguard, remember that game? That scored higher than this. This guy scored it a 6.
I don't even understand the complaint about the alligator boss fight. Did he have the same complaint for Resident Evil 2 when you fought a sewer gator there? It actually feels like it's doing the honestly. IGN meme of too much water, if you remember that one. This one is too much cheese.
Even here, though, I have issues. Weapons can feel weak, especially the shotgun. It's got the audio kick of a pop gun, and there's a strange disconnect to seeing something that sounds like a kid's toy blow off some poor mouse's head as you paint the white of the world with black ichor that spews from his neck.
I
wonder why.
So you have no idea what this complaint means. I'm not gonna lie. He was going on to compliment the gameplay. It's a boomer shooter. It's a very competent one at that. Yep. It's a fun one, which he was also mentioning, but then said like he also has complaints here, and then notes the shotgun sounding like a kid's toy and then blowing off bad guys' heads in the game.
Wow, it's almost like, hear me out here. It's almost like that was on purpose. Huh.
It's a cartoon, man.
Yeah.
What? Like, it sounds like a cartoon shotgun from fucking some kind of WB cartoon back in the day. Like, what do you, like,
or a Disney cartoon.
What is it supposed to sound like?
Exactly.
And why does that matter? Like, I truly don't think that was worth mentioning.
To be fair, the way guns sound in certain games does matter, because sometimes a gun just doesn't sound like like it packs the punch that it has or what have you. In this instance, though, it sounded, at least from what I heard, it sounded decent. I don't know, like I said, I want to play this game, so maybe we'll play it on stream one day.
I really think he was fishing for anything else to critique, so that way it seemed like there were more complaints he had outside of just not liking that it was silly noir instead of serious noir.
Imagine.
Enemies mostly come out of doors marked with a skull that you can't enter, robbing these areas of anything remotely resembling a sense of place. Levels also really like to pull the "we're gonna lock you in a room and throw baddies at you until they're dead or you are" shtick a little too much for my taste.
Like every other video game?
None of this is game-breaking. The combat is fundamentally good enough to carry you to the end of the roughly 12-hour campaign, but sometimes it feels like being at a show that's never quite bad enough to leave.
Here's another complaint that I think is truly pulled out of his ass just for the sake of trying to find anything else to be negative.
Like, he's trying, like, it's almost like he got paid to not score it above a 6. He's trying to find reasons to not score it above a 6 because it would embarrass the rest of the games industry.
Negative about to justify a 6. What do you mean that there were too many rooms of just killing enemies to progress? It's a boomer shooter. You know it's a boomer shooter. You have even made a mention of that. That is the core gameplay loop of a boomer shooter. You go into a corridor and you fucking blast ass until there's no one left, and then you move forward.
I've played Doom before.
Did he have the same complaint for Doom? I doubt it, like, because that is what boomer shooters are. So I don't know why he's saying there was too much of that here for his taste, as he never played a boomer shooter. I don't know.
It almost sounds like the game walked right out of like a Boomerang or a Late Night Cartoon Network or something. Exactly. Like, that's what I was saying, like a Disney cartoon or something that like obviously comes from like the 1940s and 50s cartoon Actually, honestly, probably 19 earlier than that, maybe. Somewhere around there. Like, somewhere around in that era. And it's so funny because it's just like, again, he either doesn't get the joke or he was paid to not get the joke.
Seems like he has because he made a mention. So how could that ever be a complaint? If the complaint was the gameplay's not good enough to make me excited for each of these rooms, that would be understandable. But he made a strong mention that the gameplay is good and is very fun enough to carry you through it.
Yep.
So
then what's the problem?
I just don't understand how anyone
worse than Veilguard
could have an issue of rooms of enemies you have to kill to move forward in a boomer.
Worse than Concord, worse than Highguard
shooter when that is the entire meat of that genre.
Some of these locks are on a time limit, or must be solved in a limited number of moves.
Oh, so like Bioshock?
At the good stuff they hold. Others are so easy you could probably solve them by letting an actual mouse run across your keyboard. It's very jarring.
Why is that very jarring?
Oh no, you have to turn your brain on for 30 seconds.
You got me porky pigging right now. In Skyrim, there's novice lockpicks and then there's expert lockpicks. Is it jarring there too? It's called different levels of difficulty with the lockpicks. Like, what do you mean? Yes, there's going to be easy
ones,
like
Bioshock,
and then there's going to be more difficult ones with strict things like certain number of moves, or you're only allocated a certain number of moves or a certain amount of time. It's a scale. There's easy and then there's hard. Why is that jarring? That's like the most established thing in all of gaming. Now he goes on to compliment multiple other things about the game, but then says that...
Betcha if you ask him, he'd be like, why can't I skip this? This is not fun. Oh my god, dude, come on. Just engage with the game.
He never got to do the whole detective thing because the game does it for you, and that's another thing that he had an issue with. And that's another thing I think is totally understandable to be like, I'm a little disappointed, because the game doesn't make you solve anything. It does do it for you. You get
Well, yeah, because it's a boomer shooter. It's not like LA Noire. Sure, you could have a complaint about that, but like, come on, man. What are we really talking about here?
The clues, you put them on the board and it connects the dots, solves it, and then you just do the mission.
It's the set dressing for the boomer shooter.
I think that's totally fine. The game is a boomer shooter. It is not really a detective game. It is a noir aesthetic, a love letter to noir. It is not putting you as like a detective needing to do like an LA Noire style investigation to figure things out. It is a boomer shooter at its core, so it doesn't bother me, but I think maybe he's not alone. Maybe some other people also wanted to have more like detective elements to it. So that's okay to be a little let down there. I think that's somewhat...
Right, but as a games journalist, somebody who allegedly does this for a living and allegedly has done this for a while should recognize that there is a genre... Not a genre imbalance, a genre difference there, where he should have seen boomer shooter and say, okay, I'm going to judge this like a boomer shooter, and not judge it like a direct noir detective game, because that is not what it is. And I don't even believe, like, obviously the title can be one thing, but I don't think it's been advertised as such. I could be wrong. If it was advertised as that, then maybe there's a little bit more meritorious critique there, but it's still a boomer shooter. You're not going to be going around solving crimes as a boomer shooter. It's because it wouldn't be a boomer shooter then. It'd just be like an action game.
Reasonable. I don't think that's a huge, weird complaint to have there. But then we get to this section here that made me really want to yap about this, because it kind of just blew my mind listening to it.
Oh, it's going to make me angry then.
One of my major problems with Mouse PI for Hire. Look, I hate to be that guy who brings up ludonarrative dissonance.
No, you don't.
In a video game review in the...
I don't think you can define ludonarrative dissonance, by the way.
Year of our Lord 2026, and
don't use those words.
If you're rolling your eyes right now, I can't blame you, but it's an actual issue here. Jack Pepper is a PI who kills more people in a single mission than Philip Marlowe has in every book Raymond Chandler ever wrote combined. I don't care how corrupt the cops are. A private detective can't break into a police station and slaughter them en masse and then go about his day.
It's actually not a problem here at all, because it's a cartoon.
Exactly.
This is supposed to be a cartoon, and one that...
All right. For everybody who doesn't know, because I bet you he doesn't either, I'm going to get the real definition for you. The phrase ludonarrative dissonance, as defined by AI Overview, is the conflict between a video game's narratives, stories and cutscenes, and its gameplay, mechanics, and action. A good ludonarrative example would be like the BioShock games. Or rather, I guess BioShock 1. Here, it's a cartoon. It's being used as a joke. The funniest part is the first noir themed shooter I can think of where the mystery was just a setting for the rest of the game mechanics. Right? Exactly.
It doesn't take itself seriously, very obviously doesn't take itself seriously, because everything that happens in there is used as a joke or a means of like entertaining you as a cartoon would. Does he have the same complaint with Ed, Edd n Eddy? Well, surely they would have broken bones in that scuffle there with that last scam from Ed. This doesn't make any sense. How could they possibly have survived something like that? Like, it's silly. That is a silly complaint. It's not a narrative disconnect because it is a cartoon.
Yep.
And it is very clearly...
And it also doesn't break the, as he would think, ludonarrative juncture there, because it is a cartoon. And the mechanics are a boomer shooter, which is basically cartoon. There is no dissonance.
Unapologetically leaning into that. So no, it's not actually a problem here, Scrooge. You, the detective Jack, going around massacring 1,000 bad guys and then cooling off at John's with a tall fucking glass of fondue and then playing cards at the table is totally understandable in this setting because it's a cartoon.
Yep. In one particularly nonsensical scenario, Jack inadvertently burns down an opera house to save a guy running for mayor, and he ends up fighting an opera singer and shoots her. Is she dead? Did I just kill an actress for being angry?
Imagine, oh my god, okay. There could be no way that this is a reference to Bugs Bunny's opera stuff or the Hanna-Barbera opera stuff or the Tom and Jerry where they're playing piano in like a large opera setting. Like there is no way that this could be a reference to that, right? Dumbass.
Burned down her workplace? If I didn't, have I left her alive and unconscious inside a burning building?
Bro.
Billy Stone did get blown to Kingdom Come.
Mouse PI for Hire doesn't tell me, and it doesn't seem to care either way. This is
no,
to say that
it doesn't care.
Cannot or should not be violent, but the violence usually has a purpose. Much of Elliot Chase's seminal novel Black Wings Has My Angel is about robbing an armored car, but the book builds to that. It's a big deal when it finally happens, and the characters have to reckon.
Really? You're gonna compare that to a cartoon?
With the fallout once it does. Jack Pepper, on the other hand, is a walking catastrophe, and nobody in Mouseburg seems to care.
Because it is a cartoon. Yeah. Why didn't Wile E. Coyote end up in jail for life for being a fucking terrorist blowing up everything?
Imagine.
Why did Elmer Fudd not die a million times with everything Bugs Bunny did to him? Why does every cartoon character that have an anvil or grand piano fall on their head like Pepe Le Pew not die right there? Why do they come back? Because it's a cartoon, man. And this is not supposed to be a serious noir comparable to the actual noir properties that he's referencing. This is more a cartoon than a noir, and it's...
Which is why I think this guy is too stupid to get the joke. Like, he is a good reference point, I would think, for the average... Not average. For the average person who thinks that they're smart. They're not smart enough to think their way out of a cardboard box. They might have a bunch of things that they think they know. They might be able to say words that normal people don't really know. They might be able to reference esoteric, parts of literature, but they don't know what any of it means. They don't get it. They are not smart enough to think themselves out of a cardboard box. He thinks he is, but everybody else knows he's not. And if he's lying about this and he was paid to write this down, he is now trying to use whatever he knows as a weapon against you, and everybody can see right through that too. Either way you slice it, he's still not smart enough to be able to figure out how to do it.
Using that aesthetic blending both of them together, and I think it does it extremely well. It's such...
Don't make me pull up the Cuphead tutorial just to prove that games journalists are in fact the stupidest people on the planet.
Such a weird complaint. Like, I really think this is just so odd. Again, the score isn't even that bothersome to me, because I'm sure people have played this and they're like, it's not really for me. The writing, doesn't make me laugh, and I don't love the...
So I looked it up. So let's look it up. Let's see if people hate it. Mouse PI for hire reviews. Review Steam DB. It's actually a noir type to have PIs infiltrating stations and otherwise defying police in noir. Exactly. 91% positive rating over 4,500 reviews. I don't know. That seems like it's a pretty good sample size to show out of 4,700 reviews that most people liked it. In fact, non-hyperbolically, over 90% of people liked it. Huh. Who knows? The PlayStation thing is even funnier? Yeah.
Shooting and
I don't know. I don't think people disliked it.
Same enemies are repeated tons of times. It's not like there's a ton of enemy variety, and it doesn't really challenge you to be switching weapons constantly like other boomer shooters, so, maybe I'd give it a 6. I could understand that, and I'm sure there are people that have that take. That's not the issue. The reason why this review is getting dunked on by a lot of people
is because of non-substantive reasons that have nothing to do with the game itself and have everything to do with painting it in a certain particular way to justify the score that you want to give it, not that the score that it deserves.
Now, I'm yapping about it so much is because the reason that he's giving for it being a 6 is solely because it seems he just really wanted to be a serious noir, and the fact that it's silly and plays by cartoon rules instead of noir rules bothered him so much that it knocks it all the way to a 6, despite everything else being good. Like all of the actual gameplay, which he makes a mention of. It's just odd. It's so weird.
In fact, that the other noir shooter game I was thinking of also had you break into a police station and potentially kill the police if you didn't want to stealth. Again, this guy will throw around the word intertextual, but has no clue about any of its meaning.
He gets to go about his business and is portrayed as a down-on-his-luck everyman PI, like the characters who inspired him.
Imagine, like every other type of PI or noir type of PI story.
When he is, at best, a mass murderer. Does that make for a more fun video?
Imagine.
Okay, maybe. But it's bad noir and a worse detective tale.
There's no maybe there. It does make for a better game when the game is supposed to be entirely revolving around boomer shooter action. That is the main meat here. And no, it doesn't make it a bad detective game because very few people are going to be looking at it through this lens of ruined my immersion in the mouse world here. Because Jack killed so many bad guys and he didn't go to jail and no one even really seemed to care about all the bad guys that were dying. And then when he was talking to that brain in the jar, it's like brains can't even speak. Like, how does that make sense? It's dumb to even have that complaint, man. It doesn't make it a bad detective story. It is fully sensible in this cartoon
Remember, you do not hate journalists enough.
World.
But Will, you might say, this is a goofy Looney Tunes FPS. Why should I care about...
Oh my god, dude. Oh, now he's gonna please justify your points.
Any of that. And the answer is because Mouse wants you to. It wants you to believe that this is important. You spend a lot of time talking about these characters, about putting together the clues you need to get to the bottom of what's going on, and about Jack's motivation for doing the work. He allegedly needs the money, which both leads him to taking cases and doesn't track when I'm super rich from all the killing.
Oh my god, it's like it's the first video game he's ever played.
Exactly.
He is now using the fact that you collect currency when you kill the bad guys as a way of saying, now the story doesn't...
He's like, okay, I want to do one job, make enough money, and then choose to be able to quit. Okay, well, I guess there's no more game then.
Makes sense, because I'm no longer down on my luck. I got so much money, I'm rich. Look at my inventory. Brother, what? And he's dreadfully misunderstood the game if he thinks that it's taking itself seriously. At no point throughout the 10 hours I've spent with it so far have I even had a whiff, the slightest huff of something that's supposed to be taken seriously as like an emotional beat. Because at every step of the way, even during like a big reveal and like a big betrayal of someone that we looked up to, it is used as slapstick comedy when you actually get there and confront.
Is that because it's supposed to be a comedy game? Oh man, who knows? Certainly not this guy.
Being silly, because that's what cartoons do. Well, at least the cartoons that this is paying homage to.
Yep.
And like he mentions, it tries to get you invested because you spend a lot of time with them. Yeah, man. That's because that's called a good game that has a lot to do. You get to interact with the characters. You get to talk to them. You get to learn about them. And that's fun. And it's always entertaining camaraderie.
And I'm sure they're probably written in a way that's actually pretty good, engaging, and makes you somewhat want to care about them.
Between them. But that doesn't mean that it needs to be taken to the utmost level of seriousness.
Exactly.
Like in the noir properties that you're referencing, because that's not what it goes for. And I don't know how he could possibly
it's beyond the scope of the game
when he's playing it. I really don't know. I don't get it.
Mouse PI for Hire nails the aesthetics of both the 1930s cartoons and the detective stories that inspired it.
Yeah.
It's also an amusing boomer shooter that largely feels good as you're playing it. But it's
okay, so full stop. That sounds like a 7 to 8 out of 10. Like right there, full stop. The gameplay's good and it looks good. All right. Now give me the reasons why you hate it so that you can justify being a dickhole.
Haphazard marriage of noir storytelling tropes and shooter gameplay are often at odds with each other in uncomfortable.
Imagine you didn't get the joke.
Ways that weaken both aspects, and the writing is so busy making references to other things that it's actually painful to sit through at times. This FPS is solid enough if you just want to blast some cartoon mice and not think about it too hard, but once
this FPS is nice if you're going to it for the exact same thing that it wants you to go for.
you do, all you'll see are the seams where disparate ideas have been fused together, and no trench coat can hide the stink of that moldy cheese.
The only stink here is this review. It is so silly. Again,
what a stinky review.
Is not the problem. I'm sure there's plenty of people that played this and find it to be like a 6, because maybe they...
No, the score is a problem because everybody disagrees with him, like unilaterally disagrees with them, and it's only going to show that they had a number that they wanted to give it, and they were trying to find a way to give it that score. Yes, the score is at issue, but it is a symptom of a greater problem.
Got tired of fighting the same enemies a lot, or like I said, maybe the writing just didn't hit for them either. And his complaint of like, too much cheese, not enough substance, I didn't like the writing, I wasn't...
Not enough to bring it down a point. That's kind of like, that's the buy-in to a game like this, in a way.
I think is fine. But that's like the only actual complaint here. The rest I just think is baloney. Yep. Too many rooms where you have to kill all the enemies to progress.
Trying to force a reason to give it a specific score instead of looking for the score in the actual material.
It's a fucking boomer shooter. How could that possibly be a complaint? You could just say, like, you don't like boomer shooters then in that case, but that's not even the impression
then pass it off to somebody else.
It seems like he likes boomer shooters, so how would you ever...
No, he just doesn't like you.
...have this complaint in that case. And then, like, the other things are, it's not logical. How could Jack be a hero detective when he's killed all of these people and no one takes that seriously, all this death? It doesn't make sense. It's like it's a cartoon or something. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'll stop blabbering about it. This review was just wild.
Exactly. It's just like, what is going on?
A bit more. I was talking about it a bit last night on stream when I was going through the IGN review before playing some more Mouse PI for Hire. And it was
just like, yeah.
It was something, man. It really was. So anyway, that's really about it. See ya.
You do not hate journalists enough. I cannot believe... Well, I can believe that there was, like, there was too much forethought into going into this review. They said, okay, we need to give it a 6, so try to find a way to give it a 6. I bet you that's exactly what the discussion was. They don't like the fact that indie games are starting to break into mainstream appeal because it's showing the games industry's bare ass for what it is. Which is so tragic because indie games are amazing.